Okay, so we're shifting our focus to the music industry, the nepotism, and the ongoing pandemic. Joining us at the moment is the well-renowned singer Sonu Nigam. Thank you very much, Sonu, for taking your time out. Before I
Thank
go
you.
into
Pleasure.
thank you. Before I go into the difficult questions, I want to first begin by asking you. You know, pandemic has put us through a very tough time. In times such as these, many people rely on music as solace, as their go-to place. How are you ensuring that music reaches out to people, your viewers, your audience during these times? So has the music industry taken a hit like other industries? Is it difficult to produce music at this point?
See, we've been doing work basically like I'm just in the process of releasing a song. It's from a composer from UK. It's by a composer from UK. His name is Sahaj, and it's for my label. It's called I Believe Music. I started that label 10 years back, but didn't do much about it. Now is the time when we can release lots of our work. We've got ample time in our hands, and thankfully, I'm sound, so I can be my own engineer. I can be my own producer. I learned all these things very early in my life. So all these are coming to my rescue today. So we've been singing. I've been singing over here. Like this is my microphone and all that stuff that you're seeing is unpacked. The packing material of my screen and my computers and my speakers. So we've been sending stuff to composers. They are sending it back to us, and then we do our changes if you have to, and then they mix it. So it's all happening fine. I'm just going to release a Hanuman Chalisa. I'm going to release a Rudrashtakam. I'm going to do lots of. There's another song that I've done for Tips, which is going to be shot. The video is going to be shot in Dubai mostly next week. So the work is happening, but of course, the music industry has taken a hit because of non-existence of concerts.
Mhm. Absolutely. All right. I will just straight away jump into the big debate on nepotism. And this is specifically coming to light, Sonu, not just in Bollywood. I would say that you started the debate in music industry. You released a video. You talked about how, you know, a mafia is operating at this point in time, not just in Bollywood, but also in music industry. And you also went on to say that this could take lives in music industry. Could you perhaps expand on what you meant? And is the mafia operating at the moment? Has it been operating for a very long time? Or is it a current phenomenon?
I have to check one name. I have to once again. Because my sister sent me a name of a singer, and I've just heard his vlog. His name is mm, Swapnil Jaiswal. So I needed to take names and give you authentic information. So this guy, like any newcomer, he's from Chhattisgarh, I think, if I'm not wrong. I heard his vlog, and he's from Chhattisgarh. So people come from such, remote areas. They have the talent. They come to Mumbai to become singers. They have dreams. They have aspirations. They're working hard. They want to work hard. They're ready to work hard. They don't get work in film industry probably, but now since there are independent avenues where you can, uh, make music or probably do a cover like people in the West do.
Right.
Anyway, so Wolobi, all those singers have come as cover music singers, and they had their own channel, and then they became famous. And so this guy was, in fact, seeking people's help. That I have done three songs as cover versions, like people have been doing. Janita Gandhi has done, Sanam Puri has done. People have done multiple. Music company, I don't know which music company it was. I don't. He didn't say the name, but he made us listen to an audio recording of a female talking to him and literally threatening him.
Okay.
I don't care whether you, I don't care what happens to your career. You have to pay us 2 lakhs each for one song. He said, 2 lakhs for one song, for doing cover versions. It's your song. Ideally, they can probably share the revenue if somebody is making money. I understand it's your song, it's copyrighted song. I understand completely. Music companies have the right to, but you cannot ask obnoxious amounts. You're going to drive them to suicide. What he was saying, what do I do now? Because if they give 3 strikes on my channel, I'm going to lose my channel. all my hard work, all the money invested, because he said about 50 to 20,000 rupees at least goes in making a video.
Right.
And I've spent some money and I want to make some money. There are no concerts happening. Wait, what do I do? And you can make independent songs, you can make original songs, but you see, you have to understand, be fair and be right, reasonable. People, when you do an already famous song, there's a recall value, isn't there?
Mm.
That's why they're doing their own rehashed songs, right? When they're coming with covers of their own songs, they are rehashing songs and remixes of their older songs. Why? Because they know that there's a recall value. So when a new singer comes, and if he sings a famous song sung by a current singer, he gets a recall value. So they get a chance to present their talent. And I'm sure there can be ways where if that song makes some money, the music company can take a percentage instead of asking for 2 lakh rupees per song from young kids. So he said, for 3 songs, how do I arrange for 6 lakh rupees? So this is yesterday's scenario. I heard this interview yesterday. There's another singer called Siddharth Lathia. He said the same thing. He said, I don't have any work right now, and I'm making my own songs and I'm making my own videos. If you don't promote it, what do I do? I'll have to commit suicide. They're using such words. They are now coming up more openly. So this is, I'm talking about the newer singers. The existing scenario in terms of music, which, see, I don't believe in taking names and telling you that these are notorious people and these are criminals and they should be. There is imbalance, severe imbalance, which needs to be rectified. And an imbalance can only be rectified when you have the decency to address a situation. So we are only addressing the situation. We're not, trying to prove that, we are superiors and they are inferiors and what are they doing? They have the right. They are the basic companies. They're making the business flourish. God bless them. But they also have to take care of the fact that because of them, people should not feel pushed against the wall. If you make whether old or new singers feel that unless they beg in front of you, they're not going to be visible in the industry, then that's wrong. That's not a healthy scenario. That's not healthy for any industry. And first of all, music industry is not an industry. Industry means something which helps everyone. Like Ratan Tata is an industrialist, and there are other people who are businessmen. They take care of their own business. So music is a business, is not an industry. It should become industry. People should take care of each other. You have your favorites, that's fine, but you cannot tell people that we won't buy your movie if you have Sonu Nigam song. You can't do that. Okay, I am still, I can manage myself. God has been kind, and I mentally I'm a very, satisfied person. But people who haven't seen success, people who haven't really, tasted the flavor of, being loved and being shouted at by girls and by boys on stage, people who haven't tasted this, all that I have, you know, uh, relished in my life, would they be baffled? They are bound to feel
Really denying them
saddened.
a chance. That's what you're doing. You're denying them a fair chance to, you know.
ऐसा कैसे कर सकते हैं आप यार?
Mm.
Now, I'll tell you an example. Again, as I never take names, but I always leave clues for you to understand or get the name of the person. So there's a singer who is right now with one company, and that company is promoting him. Okay, and that singer said that there is no campism, there is no, and mind you, music industry, music business rather doesn't have nepotism. There is, but to say slightly, my sister, my daughter, whatever, very slightly. That is understandable. That is grantable. We don't have any issue. In films, there could be nepotism and power play. In music industry, there is only power play, only severe, ruthless power play. That
May I
needs
just
to
ask
be
you to expand
addressed.
on
Yeah, sure.
what do you mean by the music mafia and the power play? How does it operate? For a layman who doesn't really understand how music industry operates, could you just expand on how do they operate? How do they deny youngsters
I'll
a
give,
chance, as you mentioned?
correct. I'll give you that one example that I began this conversation with, this topic with. So there's a singer who's singing for a particular company at this one, and the company is promoting him very nicely, very good, God bless. But the singer came out and said, Sonu Nigam said, it's the wrong thing. There is no campism, there is no power play. People get work because of their talent. The same singer was with another rival company 2 years back. when he was with the travel company, this company was not working with him
mm,
because he was their artist and he was doing concerts and giving money to them.
mm,
Okay, so this company is not working with him. He had a terrible, ugly spat with the COO or CEO of the music company because his father felt that the son was not getting his due. This is what I've heard. This guy, the CEO, probably chucked the father out of the office. Now he is ghar ka na ghat ka. Goes to the other company. The other company is now promoting him. This company is not working with him. This is the mafia I'm talking about. You see,
mm,
you have to be under somebody's protection. If you're not in under an umbrella, so how does he say that there is no campism, there is no power play? There is a power play because when he had that ugly spat with that music company, they stopped working with him.
mm,
कि इसके साथ काम नहीं करना, इसको गाना नहीं गाना, इसके सारे गाने डब करने. They got calls कि इसके सारे गाने डब करने. They got calls like that. So there is a lot of you know arm twisting that's going on in music. This is not just for singers. Please ask the music directors. Please ask how they're suffering. Sometimes they're in worse state,
mm,
and ask the lyrics writers. A lot of people would not want to give away their identification, their name. But if you ask them ambiguously, then you'll get to know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. I mean,
It's a it's a
beautifully, A.R. Rahman, he openly spoke about a gang that was
see
spreading rumors about him. You know, he said in a quote, "People are expecting me to do stuff, but there's another gang of people preventing from happening this from happening." So more and more people, as a matter of fact, are now speaking up. So,
exactly. People meet me when we were traveling to the airport. आप सर गाने नहीं गा रहे आजकल. अब मैं क्या बताऊं? क्यों नहीं गा रहा भाई? मैं क्या भीख मांगू मैं गाने के लिए? Will I be begging from people? What will I do? आप सर गाने नहीं गा रहे. मतलब people want the songs, but I'm not getting the songs. So what is the? It's exactly the same thing A. Rahman is saying. People want. Why would? And I have, in fact, before him, I said that about A. Rahman. I said, a man who has brought so much glory to Indian music. 14 years back, 2006 is when he got his Oscar. I think 14 years में how much have we used A. Rahman? हमने A. Rahman को use ही नहीं किया. We haven't given him the appreciation of what he managed to do for Indian music.
mm,
We got jealous. We got uh, we got intimidated.
mm,
We got envious. ये कैसे लेके आ गया ज़रा बड़ा हुए दिन. Let's not work with the genius. Let's work with people who are अपने अपने अंडर में रहेंगे यार. And I am aware of this. I've seen them talking about somebody as genuinely talented as A. Rahman. I have heard from, I can't take the names, but I'm talking music company, the notorious music company owners. क्या है? नहीं सर रहमान बिल्कुल चलता नहीं है सर, चलता नहीं है रहमान, नहीं चलता. वो हम गाने बनाते हैं सर, हम गाने बनाते हैं.
mm,
रहमान नहीं चलता, वो होता नहीं है रहमान. I've heard it from my own ears, not once. But this is the doctrine that has been spoken about Rahman and a couple of other people.
mm,
I have seen Shreya Ghoshal songs being dubbed.
mm,
I have seen my songs being dubbed by non-singers. I have seen Sunidhi Chauhan being dubbed by. Matlab, what's happening? Who is better than Shreya Ghoshal? Who is better than her? There's nobody who's better than Shreya Ghoshal in terms of the genre that she's in. She's the boss. How dare you dub her song?
mm.
But मेरी आंखों के सामने हुआ है, मेरे ही गाने पे हुआ है. तो अब क्या बोलेंगे आप? दिस माफिया नहीं है तो क्या है ये? कभी ऐसा हो सकता था कि मतलब लता मंगेशकर के गाने को कोई और नॉन सिंगर आके गा जाए? लता जी ने गा भी दिया, बोले नहीं लता जी करनी चाहिए मेरे को यार, मेरी फेवरेट है, इसको इसको गवाते हैं यार. नहीं होता था ऐसा कभी.
Sonu, you also said in your video that while it's easier for you because you're an established name, you've been in music industry for since 1991, I suppose, if my memory serves me right. But there are newcomers who are more prone and susceptible to this kind of pressure. And you said that, it literally drives them to suicide. Have you been speaking to such youngsters? Have you been in conversation? I'm sure a lot of them look up to you, come to you, talk to you. What is their state of mind at the moment?
Whether with me or whether behind me, the normal conversation between the youngsters today is, what does one do? करे तो हम क्या करें? They have no, uh, except barring 5 or 6 people
mm,
who are in the good books of uh, the the music companies,
mm,
some music companies. The other people, uh, I mean, maybe one day when I write my autobiography, I'm going to take all the names. But at this point, I choose not taking names. But there is a singer who's a
mm,
very good singer. You know, and there is another singer also who's my contemporary, and he made a kind of a contract. He entered into a contract with one of the music companies for a year. He ended up paying around 1 crore rupees out of his concerts to that music company,
mm.
and the music company didn't give him a single song.
Okay.
1 year he was contracted to the music company, and he's my contemporary. He decided that, let me take a plunge into this, and although he's senior, he thought that maybe the right thing to do is to get into the good books of the music company, and let's share the revenue. So they took the revenue. They did one single with him,
Mm,
but they didn't give him any film song. There's another singer who is a younger singer, much younger than me. He did the same thing, not a single song. But every month they'll get a call. आपके पैसे नहीं आए सर.
mm,
ये तो माफिया है. आप आई एम टेलिंग यू, कंगना के साथ पैसा नहीं होगा, सुशांत के साथ पैसा नहीं होगा कि मतलब कॉल कर रहे हैं कि आपके पैसे कहाँ हैं, मंथली आपका पैसा आया नहीं सर.
mm,
ये होता है म्यूजिक इंडस्ट्री में भैया. दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड म्यूजिक. आई डोंट नो अबाउट फिल्म माफिया, बट म्यूजिक माफिया इज अ टेरर. they'll give you monthly calls. आपने 4 शो किए थे सर. नहीं सर, मैंने 3 किए. चौथा आपने शादी का किया था,
mm.
आपका वो पैसा नहीं आया.
So
सर वो पैसा लिया नहीं फ्री में. नहीं, आपने शो किया.
what you're saying is it's worse than film industry in music
It
world.
is. It is
Mm,
not just worse. It is also very disrespectful.
mm,
It's disrespectful. There are abuses,
mm.
literally thrown at people. माँ बहन ऐसा. It's like that.
All right. So, no, after you spoke up, we saw Adnan Sami speaking up, Alisha Chennai, Monali Thakur. They backed your claim about music mafia that doesn't just
Yeah.
operate in the film industry. In fact, Adnan Sami also penned down a lengthy note on Instagram. He completely,
Yes.
supported your stance, and there are a couple of other people as well in the industry who
Salim,
do.
Salim Merchant did the same thing. Even
Yes,
Salim Merchant was. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Merchant too, yes. And so, do you believe that you
Rashid
started
Khan
an
Sahab,
important
Ustad Rashid Khan Sahab, he also said. Ustad Rashid Khan Sahab also came out.
So, would you think that you started an important debate, a long impending debate in the music industry? Because
No,
you were
I
the
don't.
first person to speak up.
I don't look at life like that. I really live one day at a time, and when I think something is right, I just fold my hands and I ask the universe for strength. That if I'm taking a plunge into speaking the truth, don't let me go weak on this. And at the same time, don't make me, uh, you know, a puppet to my to negativity and to my anger and to an evil Sonu Nigam. I don't want to do that. I want to keep a check on my demeanor also. When I'm raising a point, I want to make sure that I stick to the point and not make it, you know, a personal vendetta or agenda. What I saw, I spoke. I absolutely wonder if I were, trying to make it on my own during these times, what would I have done? Because yes, when we were 18, we used to call up people, sir, Sonu bol raha hu ji, sir, hum have done that. When we were younger, I'm sure from Dhirubhai Ambani to Mukesh Ambani, everybody when they start off a business or industry or a profession, something, you have to ask for work, and then you find your grounding, and then you realize, and you calm down. But you're not expected to keep begging after 30 years of being in the profession. There is a time when people acknowledge your craft, your contribution to your profession.
So, no,
There's a
that
lot
brings me
lot of beauty.
That brings me to
Yeah.
another video that was doing the rounds on internet, and it was put out by Bhushan Kumar's wife, and you shared it yourself. So, kudos to you because you shared it first and you made it go viral. You wanted people to know about it, listen to it. What made you do that to begin with?
See, the thing is, let me be honest. I understand her state of mind.
Mm,
I understand she's angry. She must be angry. Out of anger, she didn't know whom to hit. She wanted to hit me. She could be angry at her own people also.
mm,
But she chose an outside target, and I'm an outsider for her. If I had filth in my head, I would have retorted back with something even more demeaning and even more dirty. I didn't want to do that. I just thought I just believe in one thing: when you're speaking the truth, just stick to the truth. Just stick to the truth. Anybody who's dissuading you from the truth will make your truth even only stronger. And I had to do nothing. I just shared for people to see for themselves what this mafia is all about. But I don't have anything against, honestly, I have nothing against that little girl. She's much younger to me. And if I am sensible, if I'm mature, I will not hold it against her. And I
okay.
do not hold it against her.
But
She
how do
has no information about me. She
you,
doesn't know me. She had all her facts wrong. She had her years wrong, dates wrong, everything. But that is not my issue. That's her problem.
Mm. Okay, but one charge I think I would want you to talk about, and maybe you would like to deny it. She said that a certain company that she represents, she said that company supported you in the beginning of your career, and you are getting distasteful, you are getting back, you're getting nasty at the moment. That's what she meant in that 20-minute long video which she shared. Would, what would you have to say to those charges? All those charges
I
that
don't,
you leveled.
no. Any sensible person knows that this is a very lame kind of a charge on anybody. It's been 29 years back when I came to Mumbai to become a singer. My first break was by Usha Khanna ji. Then she introduced me to Amar Haldipur and Utpal ji. They gave me my, uh, so, so a couple of songs which were supposedly for T series. And then after 1 year, I got to know Mr. Gulshan Kumar. And Gulshan Kumar ji did not have any films in his hand at that point. They were only good in cover versions and regional songs and devotional songs, and I did all that, and I really enjoyed doing it. I also made sure that I had promised him that I will not sing cover versions for any other company because he really valued me. He thought that because my cassettes sold like hotcakes at that point because I was doing Rafi Saab's versions and religious songs and Mata Ki Bhete and everything. So I was his apple of the eye, and uh, you know, whatever money I was given, I did. I never asked for anything. I just, for me, being faithful to somebody who has given me even slightest love in the beginning is the kind of person I am. After he passed away, when there was no work in TCDs, that's when I was invited by Magna Sound.
Mm,
Until then, I didn't have any film sound except until Sandhya Se Aate in 97 came. So from 91 to 97, 6 years, I was without film songs. I was doing so here and there some songs, not getting my due. I was doing television. I was superstar on television, but I was not getting film songs. But I was still with T series. I was still with T series. Now that's they were not even in the picture at that point. They have no business talking about what me and Gulshan Kumarji shared together. And the last point is, does that make anybody who's doing any wrong less accountable? If his father was friendly to one person, the person has to now shut his eye on all the all the wrongs that have been done. So what does one say to that?
right.
इसका मतलब तो ये है कि अगर किसी ने कुछ अच्छा किया हो तो फिर वो खून भी कर दे तो आप लोगों को उसको सजा नहीं देनी चाहिए कि उसने पहले कुछ अच्छा किया था, है ना? तो वो भी यहाँ तो वो भी नहीं है यहाँ तो. Anyway, let's not get into this. I think people know the answer, and I don't want to.
Okay, so I'll just move on in that case. You also expressed your
Yeah.
disappointment with the media, with a certain
No.
newspaper, and you said that,
Yeah. One. So yeah,
yeah,
not disappointed. I want to just. In fact, I just wanted to bring this to the notice that
mm,
you are dealing with somebody who thinks. So don't take me lightly. I'm not the run of a mill celebrity that people deal with. When I go into something, that's why I said, "गलत आदमी से पंगा मत लेना." मैं सोच समझ के बात करता हूँ. When I say something, I have done my complete study of that thing. And if you do something as stupid as putting a press release out without any rectification, then you can't be caught by me.
Hmm. Then, in that case, Sonu, how would you like the role of the media to be in this debate around nepotism? I understand many celebrities are saying that media is not acting very responsibly. What is your expectation?
Media is also it's the first time of a media also, honestly. Never have I ever seen such huge, you know, rebellious
Hmm.
favor of the whole uh, Aam Janta. I have never seen people so angry and so defiant too. And that is also not too healthy because you see, if somebody is somebody's child
Hmm.
and happens to be a father who's a star or a mother who's a star, it is not their fault.
Hmm.
Now, they're coming here, it's fine. And then not all of them succeed. The ones who succeed are because of their talent, because of their aura, because of their hard work. I understand all that. So we cannot generalize nepotism in such a way. But yes, it has to be addressed also because um, people like Kanna. I haven't seen the film Mafia working, but if she is saying that somebody threw chappal at her, she wouldn't be imagining things, right? Something like this would have happened. So if such a scenario exists, then this has to be rectified. You cannot behave with people who do not belong to star family with chappals in their hands. ये क्या तरीका है यार? Where is your philosophy? Where is your spirituality? You, where is your higher understanding of life if you're throwing chappals at somebody, at a girl especially, just because she doesn't have a star father to come and give her up? So that is wrong, and this is a bitter medicine which is being administered to the society or the business as a whole to uh, calm down and be a little more respectful towards talent rather than just showing your strength.
Yeah, so calling out nepotism is okay to everyone. I think it's about time that we have a conversation on that. But there's also a lot of mudslinging. I'm sure you are privy
That's
to
what I'm
everything that is happening at the moment. Is this a necessary evil? But can we at least modify the language that we use while calling out nepotism, and not take a dig at our actors or the co-artists around us who may have gone through the same sort of struggle, but may not use the same language or may not be as vociferous, as vocal as we are.
saying. Everybody has their own way of fighting a battle, you
Right.
see. And I believe in the totality of the whole, in the whole, the sum total of all that's happening is a very, to repeat myself, a very bitter medicine was required
Mm.
to rectify this. It is of a very grand scale. This powers, I don't use the word nepotism because for me, nepotism is, maybe for some people, it's a huge, big thing. For me, it's the power play that people do
Okay.
that has that has to be addressed. The power play was very ugly and was on grand scale. And for that, a lot of feathers will be ruffled. Uh, so be it. But this has to be dealt with a lot of sincerity and a lot of strength.
Mm. Okay. So before I let you go, the final
Yeah.
question: what processes, platforms do you think need to be ensured, need to be built in Bollywood, in music industry, to ensure that it's an equitable place, it's a just place, not just to those who have been inside, to their sons, to their children, and sons and daughters, but to the outsiders as whole.
You see, in a family, when children misbehave, parents take the charge. Then they ground them. You ground it. In India, the government needs to intervene. The government definitely needs to intervene. This whole madness, like Shatrughan Sinha was talking about, Govinda. Govinda, everybody knows he's one of the most phenomenal actors, most wholesome actor that India has ever seen. And he was mentioning about how his films, even if they're doing well, they don't get theaters, and this needs to be probed into. Why is it that some songs in music, some songs are so beautiful, but they never played on radios, and some lousy songs are asked the radio stations are asked to uh, play them 50 times a day. So you open any radio station, you'll hear the same lousy song. Who is doing that? This has to be questioned. Who is deciding the programming of radios? And that same song is not heard on Akashvani. That means whatever is government owned, they can't uh, control, the functioning of that department. So I feel the government has to intervene and
Is this
check
a larger
what is
nexus?
happening.
Is this a larger nexus? Is that where you're getting at? That this is a larger nexus that's literally
But the thing is, I don't blame the radio stations for it, because radio stations also put in a very big spot, difficult spot. They are told, if you don't play, अगर आपने ये लैंग्वेज है, अगर सर आपने ये गाना नहीं बजाया तो हम आपको आगे करने देंगे नहीं अपने. So the radio stations have to comply to whatever the demands of the music companies are. And they now have started going to an extent कि ये मत बजाओ. So they can even decide which singer should not be heard in this country, this democratic country called India. They can decide it. सोनू निगम को नहीं बजने देंगे हम लोग, या इसको नहीं मैं अपना I can take my name but I can't take other people's name, but they can decide it कि इसका गाना नहीं बजाओ. हम बजाएंगे ही नहीं तो हमारे गाना, तो फिर कैसे गाना हिट हो सकता है किसी के बारे में, if you do. So the government needs to intervene. What is it that many actors say that their movies are getting less theaters, and some movies which are from a big production house but apparently have no substance are getting thousands of theaters in a country? What is happening? There has to be some fair play. Level play होना चाहिए ना, level playground होना चाहिए ना. There has to be level playground. वो नहीं है यहाँ पे. And only if the government intervenes and checks who's being, because you see, was there was a law, monopolistic trade practices, right? Yeah, monopolistic trade and restrictive practices. This was in 1990, 70 में law आया था शायद, where one person, commodities could just a few people cannot control commodities.
right.
This was a law in India, and that law के मतलब छक्के छुड़ा दिए हमारे म्यूजिक इंडस्ट्री ने. Two people are controlling the music, and गालियां, ये सब चल रहा होता है. And before going, I'll tell you, like, look at the extent of the mafia. If I say that Narendra Modi ने मेरे साथ में बुरा किया या मुझे मोलेस्ट किया, या मैं कहूँ अमित शाह डिफेंस मिनिस्टर ने मुझे इंसल्ट किया, सब मीडिया डाल देगा. मीडिया विल पुट एवरीवेयर. ऐसा क्या होता है कि जब देयर इज अ न्यूज़, देयर इज सम एक्यूजेशन ऑन अ म्यूजिक कंपनी, दैट न्यूज़ डजंट कम आउट ऑन चैनल्स? ये तो बहुत बड़ा माफिया है. You can talk about the prime minister of the country. You can accuse the defense minister of the country, and the music and the TV channels will show it. But when you take a particular name, the channels don't show it, because they are told, ये न्यूज़ देना मत, हमको गाने, we won't give you songs. So ये माफिया है.
Okay. So a larger nexus perhaps that you're hinting at, Sonu Nigam. Thanks very much for your time. Pleasure speaking to you. And this has been a revelatory interview. There's so many revelations that you've made, an eye-opener perhaps on a lot of aspects of music industry and its current operations. Thank you very much.